Welcome back to Castco Sports, guys. Today we got a little special one. We're gonna do the best Springbok players of all time, a full team at the World Cup, solely based on the World Cup. We got this one from Stephen Langeni. From the comments, he suggested this one. This one,
Thanks,
I think,
Steven.
goes out to Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, but Bjorn, brother, how you doing? Are you gonna start this one off for us, brother?
I'm doing good, my brother. I can. Just to give a little bit of an introduction regarding how I did it. I did it like this. So I did for World Cups as well. So like how they performed in the World Cup, obviously. But I also did a little bit on like how their talent is. So if they were like, let's say they had a good World Cup, but they're an exceptionally talented player, like very good, I could maybe have favored them over someone else. So it's a bit of both. Definitely more than on the World Cup. So let me start off with this one. In prop number 1, I got Durant. I don't think there will probably be another one because he was the first ever rugby player to get 2 World Cups. So I think he's probably the best at being number 1 for the Bokke. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Os is the best.
Did you also have
Argument for Beast, but I think Os, the amount of time he did it, and bro, just did it for longer, bro. That's the only thing.
And I think
So
also
we'll go
that
Os on number 1.
Yeah, and the longevity with us, like you mentioned, 95 and 2007. That's a 12-year gap for him to win 2 World Cups. So that's quite big. Number 2, I think this is a bit of a we might differ on this one because obviously we have Malcolm Marx, we have Bongi and Banambi that have shown in recent years. But I've gone actually for John Smith. I think the captain of 2007 doing very well. Obviously he was one of the best captains ever for South African rugby. That should be included. And then so I think John Smith definitely is an option. Like I say, Malcolm Marx and Bongi were also on my mind. But I think John Smith's the best choice for the all-time Springbok World Cup 15.
Yeah, I think so, bro. I think just captaining the 2007 team puts him ahead. And I think if Malcolm didn't get injured this World Cup, it probably would have put his argument above him. But I agree. I agree with that. John Smith number 2, definitely.
That was my same reasoning with Malcolm. Like Malcolm is obviously a better player than John Smith was. Not the same level as captain, but as a player definitely better. But you mentioned that he got injured after the first game at this World Cup, so he didn't really have a big impact at this World Cup like we thought he was gonna have. So I think Durant and John Smith to start off. So we got 1 Os, 2 John Smith, 3 I've went with Frans Malherbe. I don't think there's been a lot of props actually out there that have lived up to the level that he's lived up, and same the longevity. I think similar to Os. He's just been around the park for years. He's always seems to perform when we need him most. And just a stable, consistent performer in the Springbok team.
Yeah, bro, it was a difficult one. I was thinking of a CJ van der Linde, but I think Francie has just done it a bit longer than what CJ did it, you know? So, I agree with that one. Let's go with Francie on number 3 there.
So we got 1, 2, and 3. We got the same set. We got Os in 1, 2 John Smith, and 3 Frans Malherbe. Okay, so let's move on to the locks now. For 4 lock, I don't think you can go with anyone else except Eben Etzebeth. And I think the man's legacy and what he's done for South African rugby speaks for itself. I know a lot of people mention that he actually might be the best Springbok player of all time. I don't think he's the best of all time. Might be the best lock, but he's an excellent player. Definitely a leader in the group. He would have probably played in every team, bar maybe the Bakkies Boerta era, because him and Bakkies were so similar.
Yeah.
But who knows? I think he's probably, in my opinion, like I say, he better over Bakkies, so he's a better player in my opinion than Bakkies is. And Eben Etzebeth number 4.
Yeah, but I think he's just a bit more dynamic than Bakkies. Bakkies, of course, a hard man in force and everything, but I think Eben just offers a bit more line-out time, work rate on the field.
I agree.
Yeah. Whereas he's still it's difficult to say that Bakkies is harder than Eben, bro. They're both animals, bro, you know? Yeah.
They've got a very similar...
Move on then, number 5, brother.
Number 5. Now I've gone with another legend of the game. I've actually gone with Victor Matfield. Victor Matfield, I think number 5. For me, also one of the best Springboks of all time. He's been able to do it for many years now. Well, he's actually retired now, obviously, but we saw him. He came back in, was it 2015? He came back into the side. So just another player that's been around the block. During his peak years, he was definitely the best lock in the world for everything that you just mentioned about the differences between Eben and Bakkies. I think Victor is definitely maybe not at the same level as them, but he's definitely more of a complete package than both of them are.
Yeah, but I think Victor actually offers more around the field. You remember those chip tries he scored?
Chips and stuff,
Lionel King, bro. I think he was always the Lionel King for us, bro. He deserves his spot, bro. And he kept in the book for a few games
Yeah,
as well, bro. It's
yeah, even during the World Cup
exactly,
as
yeah,
well, and I think
yeah,
like you just mentioned, Victor Matfield definitely with his like for many people he always makes the all-time World Cup 15s, like and that's with all
yeah,
the nations included. So I think it's just the caliber
yeah,
of the man speaks for himself. I think he's really up there as one of the, if not the best lock of all time.
yeah, for sure. Moving on then, six, bro, six.
Six, my Captain Fantastic. I don't think you can go with anyone except Siya Kolisi. The first Springbok
Okay.
captain to. Did you have someone else?
Yeah, I did, bro.
Oh, okay. Now we're finally getting interesting. Okay, so after the first five, 1 to 5, we have the same, and now it seems like six we have a different ones. Okay, so well for me, like I say, Siya Kolisi, I think his legacy is another one similar to John Smith. Maybe not always the best player on the field, but his captaincy alone, I think, gets him into the side, and he would actually be my captain for this all-time Bok 15. Who did you go with for number six for
Bro,
the flank?
I went to the Skulkburger, bro.
Skulkburger.
My reasoning, like, see, okay, Captain Fantastic, good leadership in that, but in terms of what's going on the field, I think
Player
Skulkburger
himself.
just did a lot, did much more, bro. A few more
Yeah.
World Cups. He went to 2003, 2007, 2000. Went to 2011, eh?
Yeah, I think so. I think he might have missed actually 2011 or one of 2015 by injury,
Okay.
but I think he did end up. He went to three. He went to three World Cups. Irrespective, from 2003 to 2015, he ended up going to three World Cups.
So, just like what he offered, bro. Skulkburger, how many times he won Player of the Year? You know what I mean? He was just a different level of player, bro. In my opinion, to
100%.
see a excellent leader. But if you're talking about a team with John Smith in it, even it's a Victor Matfield, leadership's not really needed. If we could have I would choose Skulkburger every time, bro.
That's a super fair point. Hey guys, leave it down in your comments. Who would you have? Would you have Sia or would you have Skulk? Let us know, please,
Yeah.
guys. And then number 7, I think we're gonna go with the same one. Arguably the best
Yeah.
Springbok player over the last 10 years. Peter Steph. I think another one.
Yeah.
Everything that he's done in the game speaks for himself. He's been player of the year before after the 2019 World Cup, so that's another accolade I think that deserves for him to get into this team. And just his all-around play, he's a line-out option, he's a hard man, he clears rucks, he carries the ball well. So Peter Steph for me is definitely number 7.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that one.
You're also going with Peter Steph for number 7. And let's
Yeah.
move on to 8. Who do you have in number 8? Let's see if we differ there, but who do you have for
I went
8th
with
man?
Dwayne Vermeulen, bro, to
Yeah.
lead the Boca from 8 to World Cups. Bro. Just he's always been around and always put his hand up to be one of the best in the world, bro. And he's well respected around the world. I mean, look at what that one. I think quarterfinal against Wales, putting us through there, putting Farid to play in for that try.
Yeah,
That's-
2015.
Exactly. When you think of World Cup moments, that's one individual movement that puts South Africa through to the next round, and that deserves his accolades, bro.
No, I agree with you on that one. I also went with Thor. I don't think South Africa's ever had an 8th man like him. PS Peace didn't have the career. PS Peace could probably have been the best South African rugby player of all time if, with all these health problems and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the person and his longevity, another one, 37 this year, and he was still winning World Cup, still actually a mainstay in the Springbok team, starting the final.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dwayne Vermeulen for me, number 8, definitely. Now we're moving on. For me, number 9, the
Yeah.
Scrum-half, was by far the most difficult choice. There was quite a few
Yeah,
options.
yeah.
You could have gone with Faf de Klerk, obviously, who's now got his second World Cup. You could have gone with Farid Priya, who's possibly the best South African Scrum-half of all time. But I went with someone from the 95 crew. I think Joos van der Westhuizen was so influential in the way we played and for the rest of our rugby going forward. I mean, as a scrum-half, he was, before Brian Abena came onto the scene, he was the leading try scorer for South Africa. I just think Joos van der Westhuizen and also the tackles he made, we saw that exceptional tackle he made against Jonah Lomo in the 1995 final just to keep him away from the line. So I think, I think Joos van der Westhuizen, rest in peace, but I think Joos van der Westhuizen for me was the number 9. Who did you go for? Like I said, this was the most difficult one.
Yeah. I was obviously with Faf. I think he's done the most in terms of the most, but I don't think he was as good a player. He's as good a player as Joos and Farid. Farid, I was gonna go with him, but then I thought, let me compare their biggest moments, bro. And I think the moment where Jules tackled Jonah is a bit bigger than moments that Fourie had that put us through, bro. So I'll also give it to Jules, bro. Definitely.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, the legend.
especially at the
Yeah.
World Cups.
Yeah, for sure, bro. At number 10, brother. I know we might have a bit of different. Let me go with my number 10.
No, we don't.
Andre
We don't.
Pollard.
I've changed my opinion since
Bro,
the last video.
you can't
I've
change.
changed my
You
opinion. He's
can't
not
change.
there. He's not there. I know I called him the best World Cup player of all time, and he doesn't even make my top 15.
Bro,
But it is what it is. I had to go with Andre Pollard as well. After our last discussion regarding this, you made a lot of sense. You got some good points. And yeah, Andre Pollard, dual World Cup winner. I mean, didn't miss a kick in this last World Cup, 100%.
yeah.
His kicks were so influential, getting us over the line with all those, especially with those 1-point victories we had in the knockout stages. So yeah, Joel Stransky might be the best, might be South Africa's best World Cup player of all time, but he still doesn't make the team because there's Andre Pollard for me at number 10.
Ah, dude,
Moving
you
on to number 11,
bro.
I think-
You're disappointed.
Moving on to number 11 now, I think this was probably the easiest choice of them all.
Yeah.
Brian Abena, I
Yeah,
think
for
top
sure.
try scorer for South Africa of all time. 8 tries at the 2007 World Cup, matching John Aloma's record. What else can you say about Brian Abena? Just best South African, for me, in my opinion, best South African rugby player of all time.
Yeah, it's arguable, but yeah, definitely fantastic. 11. Number 12, but then number 12. Give me a number 12.
Number 12 was a difficult one, but I also just think for what he's done at World Cups and being a double winner now, Damien de Allende. John de Villiers John de Villiers probably on his day, if you take peak versus peak, is probably a little bit better than Damien.
Yeah.
But John suffered injuries throughout his career. He just never was, especially at World Cups. He would always seem to get either injured at the World Cup or just before the World Cup. So you can't really have John de Villiers on your side if he's never really played at a World Cup before. So yeah, for me, I went with Damien de Allende. I think he's an exceptional player, and I think he's actually proved his worth. I know a lot of people were speaking about him during the years that he might not be up to the caliber of a SA centre, but we've seen now 3 World Cups for him as well. This is his third, 2 wins out of 3. What else can you say? But Damien de Allende.
Yeah, for sure, I agree, bro. It's not many. I wouldn't say it's not a lot of competition, but if you think of those years where like the Vet Barry was number 12 and Louis Kuhn filled in at 12, bro. I think it was kind of easy to pick De Allende at 12, bro.
I also think so. I think there weren't many options. When I was looking around, no one really stood out. And I think out of that group, Damien's definitely the best. But let's move on to number 13. We actually got quite a few of the same ones. Number 13, I went with Jacques Fourie. I think Jacques Fourie was probably South Africa's best centre ever. We saw against, this is maybe not a World Cup moment, but 2009 against the British Irish Lions, that try of the year that he scored. I mean, I think he's also the only player that has ever scored against every single test side he's played against. So that's another, I mean, that's an exceptional record to have. So yeah, for me, Jacques Fourie, number 13.
Yeah, bro. I would say I agree with you with this one, but I think what would have changed my decision to Lukhanyo is if he had played in this World Cup. Because the last World Cup that we won, he was a major player. I mean, especially in the final, putting Mapimpi away for that try. If he had played in this World Cup and we won with him at 13, he would have been my number 13. Jacques Fourie, 3 times, did fantastic, but wasn't too flashy as what Lukhanyo has done for Bok at the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. Was my second choice as well, but similar to what happened with Malcolm, if you've only played at one World Cup and you haven't featured at the next, I can't really put you in against a guy that's consistently played at a high level of rugby. But Jacques Fourie, Lukhanyo, I think either one. I think most fans would be happy with either one at 13, so not a big issue there.
Yeah.
Number 14, I went with Old Chesy. I think Cheslin Colby has been instrumental in both the last World Cup wins. We saw him score in 2019. We saw the charge down. I mean, it's just from where he's actually come from. Because I remember 2015, 2016, it looked like he was never going to reach the heights that he's actually reached. And he's definitely top 5 winners in the world right now.
Yeah, bro. I remember last World Cup, they were talking about him being the best player in the world, bro. So it just shows you how what he did for us at that World Cup. So I agree 100%. Another shout was James Small for how he played in '95.
Yes.
Yeah, marking out.
I agree with you
John
100%.
Yeah,
James Small was the other one I was keeping an eye on. And then there's another option though that we also is big man JP Peterson was another one that I kept an eye on. I was like, JP Peterson was also, for me, him and Brian Abena were probably the 2 best wing partnerships we've ever had. Like consistency. I remember there was about 5 or 6 years where you just knew no one else was going to get picked on the wing. So, but I
Yeah,
think,
for sure.
like you mentioned, Cheslin actually performing in 2 World Cups compared to JP's 1 World Cup win. And like you mentioned, Cheslin being arguably the best player in the world in 2019. I think you just have to go with Chezo.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
Okay, now let's move on to the last one. We've got before we actually move on to fullback, did you do subs by any chance?
No, bro. I just pretty much
No
like
subs.
we said, where we had like options for the positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take that as subs, bro. Subs for 15. I'll say mine. It was a difficult one, bro, because you look at like performance and what they're doing on the field, but I think my choices has to be Percy Montgomery, bro. Reason being is just he's kicking won us a World Cup. You know what I mean? Although I think there's better players at 15, better guys who play the game. Bro, to have the bottle and the big match temperament to win a World Cup final like he did, bro, he has to be in.
Yeah, and when you mentioned it, like the kicking and everything, and when he was in 2007 when we won the final, he was the best kicker in the world. I mean, that guy hardly missed any kick to post. Doesn't matter from what angle, what direction, how far it is. I kind of forgot about Percy. I'll hold my hands up. I kind of forgot about him.
Here we go again. Here we go. Joel Stransky moved in.
Joel Stransky at the back. No, I did go with the 95. I did go with the 95 member though. I went with Andre Joubert. I think.
Yeah.
It was a because obviously I forgot Percy now, but it was a toss up between him and Villy. Even though Villy sometimes I think has been quite poor in the Bokke team, to be a part of a South African team that's won 2 World Cups and to be a consistent player in the side, there has to be some sort of skill that you have, some sort of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So it was between those two, but I went with Andre Joubert. I was watching some highlights of him again the other day. He was just ahead of his time. The way he was playing like he's a modern day player in 1995. You know what I mean? The way he was running, his silkiness, his skills, everything about him was just so smooth.
Yeah, bro. I was also on that path, but then I thought, you know what? Although the thing is with Percy, he had his good moments on the field, not maybe on the same level as Joubert, but like I said, bro, just BMT winning World Cups, you have to receive the accolades for such an achievement, bro.
Yeah, no, that's exactly my thinking with it as well. You have to, the way, like I said in the beginning of the video, the way I did it was, I looked at what they did at the World Cup, plus what they offered South African rugby, plus the talent on offer. So I did like a combination of all three, because I think sometimes you might have a guy that goes to a World Cup and does very well, but then you never see him again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
for sure.
It's one of those situations. But before we head off, I've got a few honorable mentions as well. We've mentioned Malcolm Marx. I think he's quite unlucky not to get into the side. Stephen Kitsoff was one we didn't even speak about at all, but he's also been another one that's been excellent over the last couple of years for South Africa. Vincent Koch, another one coming off the bench consistently for the Springboks and playing in 2 finals. I think is unlucky. Buckies we've mentioned, and we didn't mention Franco Mostert, but Franco Mostert I think is another one that just gives you so much.
Radar,
he's in the Peter Steff mold. He can play lock, he can play flank, he's a line-out option, he does very well, very mobile, he carries well, and he cleans the rucks very well. So Franco Mostert is one unlucky. Faf we mentioned, another one, double winner, but just when you consider that he's, especially at the last World Cup, him, Reinach, they were like pretty much interchangeable. Either one could have started and nobody would have said anything. I got Joel Stransky was an honorable mention, and then JP Peterson was my last honorable mention. I think for sure. I think our Bokke team's pretty good. So how did we end up? We've got Os at 1. We've got John Smith.
Os 1. Yeah.
Go.
Os
1.
John Smith 2.
John Smith 2. Frans Malherbe number 3. Eben Etzebeth 4. Victor Matfield 5. 6, I think I'm going to lead into what you said with Skalkberger, because we have enough leadership. So see how we can cross out. I think Skalkberger is probably better. 7, Peter Steff de Toy. 8, we've got Dwayne Vermeulen. 9, Joost van der Westhuizen. 10, Andre Pollard. 11, Brian Abana. 12, Damien de Lende. 13, Jacques Fourie. 14, Cheslin Colby. And 15, Percy Montgomery. I think that's an excellent Bokke team. Probably one that could win any World Cup that they play.
For sure. But anyway, guys, that's our video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like. Please subscribe. Leave some comments in the comment section. We'll definitely get back to you guys. As you guys saw with this video, guys give us lovely ideas. And again, thanks for the support. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.